compliment getting fragrances. Who doesn't love them? Let's be honest. You may call them generic, you may say they're boring, but who doesn't love wearing compliment getting fragrances? Is it just me? I love them. I wear them all the time. So when I was thinking of doing this video, at first I didn't think it was going to be too out of the ordinary, but then as I've gotten through the week, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I don't wear as many compliment getting fragrances as I thought, or at least compliment magnet fragrances. You know, I'm a firm believer that just about anything can get you compliments when you wear it. Of course, if you're talking about some super weird, unique oud fragrance or niche fragrance, then yeah, that may be a different story. But I would say most of the designer fragrances out there, marketed, you know, for men, are going to get you compliments in one way or another. So, you know, as I got through the week, I'm like, you know, I got to reach for compliment magnet fragrances, not just fragrances that smell good. So it ended up being a little bit weird because I do have a lot of these, so I really had to kind of narrow my choices down. Now, I do want to note a couple of things here, one of which being I do personally work from my home, so I'm not going out every day and getting compliments. And also, because of everything that's currently going on in the world, you know, now's not the time to go out and try to get compliments, right? We need to stay away from each other. So, you know, this video isn't going to be like, oh, I wore compliment getting fragrances for a week and then here are the results. You know, that's not how it's going to be. Primarily at my home or running some errands here and there, but most of the times when I go out, I just don't really bother with wearing fragrances. So, you know, this is just going to be a video where I had to sit down and think, okay, for a full week, I'm going to try to choose some of the most compliment magnet, compliment beast fragrances. And here's what I came up with. So let me know down below what fragrances you've worn for the past week, and hopefully this will give you some ideas if you're shopping for some scents and you want to choose some fragrances that are going to be on the mass appealing side by quite a bit. This video is going to be for you. Let's start off with what I started the week on, Nautica Voyage, the iconic $12 fragrance, $12 to $15, whatever these fragrances go for. I believe it's around 12 a lot of times. Honestly, some of the best money you can spend, you know, $12, and you get a fragrance like this that smells amazing. Does it smell cheap? Not as much as you would think. I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I'll fully admit when a fragrance does or doesn't smell cheap, in my opinion. And I'm not saying this is a niche quality scent or, you know, a Chanel or Dior quality scent. But what I am saying here is it smells way better than what you'd think a $20, or I'm sorry, what a $12 scent would normally smell like. There are some $20 fragrances out there that don't smell as good as this one in terms of quality. So, in my opinion, one of the best bang for your buck must-have scents. Look, I know it's a lot of people have it. I know it's talked about quite a bit and it's popular, but I still do think it's worth owning in your collection. I can guarantee you this is going to be one of those compliment magnet pulling scents. I mean, you know, you normally when you spray this one on, people are going to be just kind of gravitating towards you naturally. That's just kind of what this stuff does. Moving on to day number 2, I went with one of my personal favorites, one that I discovered last summer and is in fact, at least in my experience, a compliment magnet of a fragrance. This one's Hugo Boss Reversed. I don't know what it is about this one, you know. It's not a blue fragrance. It's not an ambroxan fragrance. So, you know, typically when you think of a compliment magnet fragrance, that's kind of the category that they fall in. This one is not that, but it is a vibrant, juicy, citrus, and aromatic type of fragrance. And, you know, whatever it is about this one, it just works, and it works really well. I was not expecting it to be, you know, something that would pull a lot of compliments. Again, like I said in the beginning of the video, I do think most fragrances, designer fragrances, will get you compliments here and there. But this one does more than just here and there. This one really pulled a lot for me when I was wearing it, especially last summer. Obviously this year, not so much because of all the weirdness that's going on. By the time it was getting warm enough to wear this one, craziness started happening, and then, you know, you just don't really go out and get compliments with fragrances much anymore. But, you know, last year I had quite a few months to test it. I can tell you guys, this one, for whatever reason, it just reels them in. Give this one a shot. Hugo Boss Reversed. This one has always been kind of weird in terms of being in stock on discount websites. So you'll have to check around. If it is in stock, I will link it down below to, wherever it's in stock for the cheapest price. I don't know if it is for certain right now though. So just keep your eye out. Hugo Boss Reversed, day number 2. Moving on to day number 3, Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. It's been a while, hasn't it? I've included Very Cool Spray in a few of my videos within the past few months or so. I really, really like Very Cool Spray. But I haven't included, the EDT or the EDP or the Parfum of Sauvage in that many videos that I can remember. I really do think it has been a while since I've included Sauvage, and it's not because I don't like Sauvage anymore or anything like that. It is true that I don't wear this fragrance much anymore, just because if I want Sauvage, honestly, right now I'll wear the Very Cool Spray, or really, I've been kind of reaching for some other blue fragrances, Bleu de Chanel and Atlantique and all of those, even Dylan Blue. Sauvage has kind of been kicked in the back for me a little bit, and that's mostly just because I've worn the crap out of this fragrance. I burned through a lot of Sauvage. It was one of my signature scents at one time, and also just because I know you guys are probably sick of it. I try to kind of cycle things in and out on the channel. I think people kind of think that, if you stop talking about a fragrance that you talked about a lot before, then you're fake and you've changed your mind on it, and that, you don't like it anymore. That's not the case for me at all. I understand when you guys are getting tired of seeing the same thing, and so I move it back. And it's the same with the Aventus. I talked about Aventus all the time. One of my personal favorite fragrances, it still is. I just don't bring it up in videos anymore because I know it has been just beaten to death in the fragrance community. So I try to cycle things in and out when you guys are starting to get tired of hearing about things, because I understand, I get it. You got to realize that I don't have access to every fragrance out there, so I do what I can to kind of bring new things in and put new things out. And even when I do bring new fragrances on the channel and do reviews on them, you guys don't seem that interested, or those videos don't do as well as when I talk about other fragrances. So it's really kind of a tricky thing to try to figure out what you guys want to see, cycle new things in, put new things out. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me while I do that. Kind of a long rant, so I apologize. But Dior Sauvage, day number 3. This one has been proven time and time again as being a compliment beast of a fragrance. Moving on to day number 4, I did go with a niche fragrance, and this was the only niche fragrance that I wore the past week. This one is Parfums de Marly Percival. I go back and forth a lot between Percival and Sedley. Sedley is one of their newest fresh scents, but Percival is what I ended up going for. I was really between this one and Sedley. That's how it always is for me. I go back and forth. I love them both. They're just different, so it's hard for me to pick a favorite, but they both are great fresh offerings from Parfums de Marly, and they both are in the kind of blue fragrancy, mass appealing type of thing. I know they have Galloway, which is a citrus-based fragrance, but it's not like the blue fragrances like this and like Sedley. So, this one and Sedley both have ambroxan, and a bunch of other aroma chemicals and like lavender and musks and stuff like that. So, it's built and designed to get compliments, and this fragrance right here will get you compliments. It's just one that it smells so clean, so nice, fresh, and really it just has like a sexy appeal to it. I do believe that people do compare this one to like Mont Blanc Legend / Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce. In my opinion, that's a bit of a stretch. If you really kind of try to draw comparisons to Mont Blanc Legend, maybe you get it a little bit, but I do think that is pushing it a little bit there. It's not to say this is a unique scent, because it's really not. It's modeled after the blue fragrance, but it is still a good one, and it's a compliment getter. I would say Sedley is probably a bit more unique, so if you want to go for that one and still be a good compliment getter, you can. But that's what I wore on day number 4 for my compliment magnet week, Parfums de Marly Percival. And speaking of Mont Blanc Legend, let's move on to day number 5, Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. So, on this day, I was between this one and Invictus Aqua. I'm thinking, okay, I love Invictus Aqua, but I don't wear it all that much anymore. And so I almost went for it. Really I was going to go for the 2016 because it is my favorite, but then I would have to include the 2016 in this video, and it's not available anymore. I could have gone for the 2018 or whatever, but I just didn't really want to, so I figured, you know what, if I'm kind of between the two, I'm just going to go with a different alternative. So I went with Legend Spirit. There's other alternatives out there. There's Davidoff Cool Water Wave. There's even one from Parfums Vintage called Aqua Intense 2016. And I believe they have a regular Aqua 2016. That one is probably about as close as you can get to Invictus Aqua 2016 when you factor in smell and performance compared to anything else I've tried. So there are other options out there. This is a really, really solid one as well, and it's going to be cheap, around $30 for a bottle like this. You can get a tester like this one with a cap. It's the way to go. And it does smell really close to Invictus Aqua. It's got a bit more of a lavender and musky dry down, whereas Invictus Aqua not so much. So it does differentiate from it a little bit, making it worthwhile. So that's what I wore on day number 5. You guys know this scent DNA and this fragrance in general is just going to be a compliment beast. Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. Getting down to the end of the week here, and this is really where I was kind of having to start thinking, okay, which should I put in here, because there could be multiple different things that I could have reached for and that I could have worn. And for day number 6, Acqua di Gio Profumo is what I went for. You know, it is what it is. I love this fragrance. I have multiple bottles of it. If you watch my fragrance collection video, you would see that. I've got a lot of this stuff. So my love for Acqua di Gio Profumo isn't fake. I'm not just hyping this fragrance up just to hype it up. I just love the classiness of this one as well. You know, Profondo is great. It does smell good, but there's something that just smells so expensive about this scent. And, you know, it's the whole experience from thinking about what you want to wear, seeing this bottle sit on your shelf, which, I mean, you got to admit, this is probably one of the nicest looking aesthetic fragrance bottles out there, at least for designers. I love the black with the silver accenting. It looks so classy, so high-end, so elegant. You pick this thing up with a nice magnetic cap and you spray it on, and I don't know, I just feel like $1 million when I wear this fragrance. The whole experience is amazing. That's why I love wearing it. Acqua di Gio Profumo, it's a compliment beast. Finally, day number 7, the last day of the week for my compliment beast week. This one was Yves Saint Laurent Y EDP. Yeah, I love it, you know, I really do. I think it's a great scent. It's going to be, in my opinion, the best from all of them. So you have the original Eau de Toilette, obviously where it started. Smells great. It's the Y DNA. It just doesn't perform that good. It's a bit more aldehydic and bright compared to the EDP. So if you want a fresher, more airy, effervescent version and you don't care about performance, you can go for the EDT. Then you have, of course, the EDP here, which is going to be best of both worlds. A little bit sweeter, but you do get really good performance from this fragrance. It's seriously strong stuff. And of course you have Live. Live, in my opinion, was just pointless. You know, I have it. I did a video on comparing all of them. I just don't think it was necessary. And of course you have Eau Fraiche, which is their newest version in a frosted glass. I really like that one. But I do think they peaked with EDP and they've kind of gone downhill a little bit. The Eau Fraiche version is pretty good, and it's one that if you like it, definitely get it. But I would say for most of you, just stick with the EDP. I mean, they did it best right here, and this is all you really need in your collection. A compliment getting fragrance for sure. So guys, there you have it. That was my compliment beast week. Only wearing compliment getting fragrances for an entire week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully it gave you some ideas if you were shopping around on the fence and you want to pick up any compliment getting fragrances. Those were 7 of them. And again, if you do want to purchase any of these, I will link them all below in the description and the pinned comment. Check it out. Click through those links. I'm going to link it to the cheapest price that you can get it on the internet. So I do appreciate you checking those out. And if you pick any up and you like them or don't like them, you can let me know down below in the comments as well. I love hearing these comments of you guys getting stuff and then you know, from my recommendation you like it. So that's going to do it for me, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow night with another one.